Hi, so we're taking a look in my moleskine pocket. Hi, Tommy. I'm telling you, this guy was wiped out of sleep. Oh my goodness. The moleskine pocket daily for 2025. And that is the little thicker one. I'm going to show you what I'm doing with one of mine because I had got quite a few little moleskines and sterling inks and so on. And I'm going to share with you about that and Traveler's Notebook and how I'm utilizing those. So I am Tammy Inman. This is Thomas, and this is A Peach Life. And thank you guys for joining me today. In past videos, was many of us are trying to figure out our planners and journals and such for next year and things like that. I always tend to go between Traveler's Company and Hobonichi, but a go-to for many years through the years is always moleskine. And that's with my watercolors and art journaling and planning and so on. Keep going. And so one thing I went back to that I found that I loved was having the daily and utilizing as a daily, but also not utilizing one as a daily. And so let me share that with you. This one is my sort of no rules. I can utilize it as daily. I can utilize it not as daily. It's more of a jot notebook, sort of like a notebook of the past. And I'll share kind of what I mean by that. This one is going to have my daily scriptures, whether that's from the app or that I utilize, or a random scripture that I feel like when I pray about things, and I feel that is what's called to me to kind of take in for that day, that I can jot that down here on whichever day that may be. I can write that down, and I can write any little thoughts with that if I want, or I can add some little stickers to have a creative moment with it too, or to reflect. If I feel the need to go over that page to the next, I can. I don't really want to establish any sort of rules or requirements of how I need to use it. Like if you feel led in that moment, just go with it. But I want to try to use it as a daily for the most part. And that is just to be able to be consistent and stick with it and make sure I'm getting that scripture. I mean, that doesn't mean you can't go on to read more about things, but the scripture that I feel that was meant for me for that day. And I will say some people got the moleskines that take fountain pen. Out of I think the 5 different types of things that I bought this year, only one was like that. And so I'm not going to worry about any of that kind of stuff. I have plenty other pens that I love and enjoy, like the Sarasa Vintage colors. Those are amazing. So I love to have this as just, I know each morning or each night before I go to bed that I'm going to write that scripture down. And then even though I have a little passport that I've shared everyday planner, and I'm using this one that's just going in my purse, this is kind of what I carry with me all over, everywhere. It's always with me. And it sort of reminds me when I say like those notebooks of the olden days when you would see people sort of journal or write down things at a cafe, and there's like a little story of a myth of different people who had carried moleskine notebooks, such as Van Gogh and other people. But it wasn't moleskine, that wasn't around at the time. And there was a prior company that moleskine ended up buying, but it was, I think the mix-up might come along with that is it was a notebook like that, a small little pocket sort of notebook that you would jot down your ideas or sketch out a few things. This is my insert I trimmed down from my hobonichi Han. It works perfect with my pin that I got from our hotel in New York. But they would take that and jot down their ideas and sketch out things they're working on, or theories, or equations, or art, or sketches, or so many things. And so I find that I just take mine with me, and it's my catch-all. I know people use the term brain dump, and I cannot, because I feel like dump is like get rid of, it's trash, it's garbage. And none of this is that. I want to catch it, keep it. I want it to inspire me and spark ideas. I want it to be used or utilized, and it to be here if needed. I want it to be my little gatherer. And so it is my catch-all. There's no rule, there's no nothing. I can just jot things, thoughts, places, information, sketches, stamp, stickers, no stickers, a little idea I was thinking about, artwork, not, writing things down, a scripture. I mean, it really is just for the joy of, I guess, journaling, I guess, creating thoughts. It's just a little booklet. And then if there's something when I'm out and I need to bring that over, like, oh, I got to write that in my planner, or I need to put that information in my home notebook for like paints, or call back the plumber or something like that, I can carry that information over. Or if it's sketching or watercolors or an ink color, ink size, I can put that information where needed. But it just stores and has a whole lot of everything with no rhyme or reason, but it all comes together with such a lovely purpose. So this was my 2025 one, and I started it early because I did not do one last year, and I can't tell you how much I miss that. And I don't really share it because usually it has so much personal in it. But when I think about it, I've been like a lot more free to not worry about all that stuff. But it's not personal like in my life and what's going on and my inner thoughts, although it could be those things. It's not, it's just a whole lot of random, for me, goodness, but to someone else might be like, that is a lot of junk. But I love it sort of like full of the little junky goodness. So, so I didn't really share it before because it wasn't like my art journals that are more put together and have a flow and a feel to them. Sorry, I'm going to get a little water. But now I do want to show you guys that in case, oh my goodness, one sec. This is what happens when you film in real time. But I want to show it to you in case that is something that you might love and enjoy. And so that's why I'm sharing this little goodness. So at the beginning of my video, I was telling you about my purposes for my different things. Now this one won't travel with me or anything like that. This one does. And if there's nothing that I really need in my everyday carry, it doesn't have to always go with me, but it's usually in my bag. But this one, I can't really go without. I love to just have it. We stop at the lake or a shop and I want to write something down or put a business card. It's just pure love and joy to have. And the size, this pocket size is incredible. So I started my 2025 early. And again, I don't really use it as the days so much. I just have it because it's a much thicker notebook than just the moleskine regular. although I'm sure there are some days that the information will be on that day, but it's not pertinent. So that's why I went ahead and started it, if that helps you to be a little free with a notebook or planner. And I know they have that like expanded one, Moleskine does, but it doesn't come in pocket size. So this one would be at home on my desk. And say I am out and I don't have this and I'm traveling, I could still write that verse in here. And then later, if I wanted to jot that down in here, this is kind of like a reference point to carry everything over or to catch it all. It has no rhyme or reason, but yet ends up being perfection. Okay. And then my little everyday carry is quite simplified with just a monthly calendar and a notebook in it for jot down information. And I think I've shared this as my setup. I think I'll share like a little bit more closer look at that in a video, just so you can see the details a little bit more. And then I got the hobonichi. I know I mentioned this before. I had been resisting and resisting and resisting, and I could no longer resist this guy. He is just so cute, and I will be completely transparent with you guys. I'm not sure how I'm utilizing it or what I'm utilizing it for at this moment. It may just be to journal, to just write. And again, it may not have to go with the dates. We'll just see, but it's just so wonderful and so special. And this size is incredible. But I have shared with you guys before that I switch back and forth through the year from my traveler's notebook, whether it be the standard size or the pocket size with the hobonichi. So many times if I have to reference something, I'm checking these two like constantly, or these two, depending on what I'm using. And I always kind of give one up for the other, but I go back to the other. These Traveler's Company and hobonichi are just my loves. And so at the beginning of this, I mentioned sterling ink. And I thought it was going to be my altogether perfect one so that I don't pull the shenanigans through the year. And I got it, and trust me, it is so lovely. It is so beautiful. It is so extremely nice. There's nothing I can say negative about it. But I knew I would write in it a little here and there, and then that's it. It would be gone, and I would be back to one of these guys because they are just my go-to, and I really cannot figure out between the two of them. And I will utilize them the exact same way. So I usually just choose passport or standard size. And once I do that, then the struggle is there, whether it's passport or standard and hobonichi. It's one of these guys and this guy, and these are my struggle. Do you guys have that? Do you have that struggle as Traveler's Company and hobonichi, or do you have another thing that's your struggle? But I don't know what it is. I will be in love. I can utilize it for months. I can tell you guys it's going just beautiful and perfect. And then boom, I'm over here. And I've already got so much established. So it's kind of frustrating that I do that. And I think it's really, truly, and maybe you can relate to this, they are just wonderful notebooks, planners, art journals, catch-all, however you utilize them. You cannot go wrong with either. They're just marvelous, and you can adapt them to pretty much however you would want to utilize them. So, one of them will be my main go-to planner. And I think with my son coming back from Tokyo and getting me things and the cute traveler's notebook stuff I have, I just thought it was a must. Like, that is what I was going to go with. And it's completely set up. I will share just the two of these with you guys in a future video. but there's just something of this little, I love the simple compact size. And you know what I'm really about right now? No cover. It's the craziest thing because I'm sure you can relate. Obsessed with, different covers, switching out my covers. I am so into no covers right now. No cover at all, just the notebook. It just feels incredibly special. So let me know your guys' thoughts. And if you have the same trouble between these two, how do you resolve it? What do you do? Or do you just do like me and resort back and forth through the year? Kind of want to kick yourself for doing it, but love it at the same time. I really want to just stay with one this year. One as my catch-all of everything. So I'm just being fully transparent with you guys to know I have this struggle. And I know others and many of you do as well. And then I know that some of you just have that wonderful planner piece and you stick with that one all year long. And I think that is marvelous and wonderful. But there's other of us that struggle. So these are my things. These are my things that do have purpose and are going to be great and set in stone. And then there's others. And I have art journals. I usually use like A6 or A5. And those are just running journals throughout the year. I don't start a new one every single year. So when I share those with you guys, it's just as one ends, a new one will start. And I typically keep those two sizes, A6, A5, for when I tend to want to art journal larger or smaller. And then there's the whole world of watercolor notebooks, and I'll share those with you in a future video, what I have. So if you enjoyed this or you can relate to this video, I'd love if you like it. And please share your insights or wisdom so that I and others can see. And if you have a video of what you're loving, share the link with me. I'd love to see it. I appreciate your guys' input and all the things that you guys share with me so much. So thank you guys, and thank you for being here. I appreciate you.